Have you ever wondered why your knees creak like old floorboards when you get out of bed in the morning? Why your hips feel like they are stuck with rust after a full night of sleep? Why your fingers are so stiff that you can barely grip your coffee mug? You might think this is just normal aging, but what if I told you that the real culprit is not your age, but what you are doing every single night before you go to sleep? The truth is, millions of Americans over 50 are unknowingly destroying their joints with 5 seemingly innocent nighttime habits. These habits are so common, so deeply embedded in our evening routines, that we never question them. Yet they are silently inflaming your joints, breaking down your cartilage, and stealing your mobility one night at a time. Picture this scenario. You are 65 years old, and you wake up every morning feeling like you have been hit by a truck. Your knees are screaming, your back is locked up, and your shoulders feel like they are carrying invisible weights. You blame it on getting older. But here is the shocking reality. Your evening routine is slowly but surely destroying the very joints that keep you mobile and independent. The most terrifying part about this is that the damage happens while you sleep. Your body should be healing and repairing itself during those precious hours of rest. But instead, these 5 habits are turning your sleep time into a nightly assault on your joints. Every night, inflammation builds up like a slow-burning fire. Cartilage breaks down like old concrete, and your joints become more and more damaged. What makes this even more heartbreaking is that most people over 50 have no idea they are doing this to themselves. They go to bed thinking they are taking care of their bodies, but they are actually setting themselves up for years of pain, stiffness, and loss of independence. The habits I'm about to reveal are so sneaky, so disguised as normal behavior, that even doctors often miss them during routine checkups. But here is the good news, and I want you to listen carefully because this could change everything for you. Once you understand what these 5 deadly nighttime habits are, you can stop them tonight. Not next week, not next month, but tonight. And when you do, your joints will start to thank you almost immediately. I have spent over 2 decades studying joint health in aging adults, and I have seen thousands of people transform their lives simply by changing what they do in those crucial hours before bedtime. The research is crystal clear, and the results are nothing short of miraculous. People who eliminate these 5 habits report feeling 10 years younger within just weeks. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and actually looking forward to getting out of bed. Imagine your knees bending smoothly, your back feeling flexible, and your hands moving freely without that morning stiffness. Imagine walking down the stairs without holding onto the railing, getting up from your favorite chair without grunting, and playing with your grandchildren without worrying about your joints. This is not just wishful thinking. This is what happens when you stop sabotaging your joints every single night. Your body has an incredible ability to heal itself, but only if you give it the right conditions. These 5 habits are like throwing sand in the gears of a perfect machine. Remove the sand, and the machine runs beautifully again. The first habit on our list is something that 80% of Americans over 50 do every single night, without realizing the devastating impact it has on their joints. This habit creates a cascade of inflammation that spreads through your entire body like wildfire. It disrupts your sleep cycles, elevates stress hormones, and turns your bedroom into a joint-destroying battlefield. The second habit is even more insidious because it feels so natural, so comfortable, that you would never suspect it of causing harm. Yet this habit is responsible for more morning stiffness and joint pain than almost any other factor. It literally locks your joints in damaging positions for 7 to 8 hours every night. The third habit involves something you probably consider healthy and necessary. You might even feel proud of yourself for doing it. But this habit is secretly depleting your body of the nutrients it needs to repair and maintain healthy joints. It is like trying to build a house while someone else is stealing your building materials. Before we dive deeper into these joint-destroying habits, I need to know that you are truly committed to protecting your joint health. This information is too important to share with people who are not serious about making changes. So right now, I want you to do something for me. If you are watching this video because you are genuinely concerned about your joint health, because you want to wake up feeling strong and mobile, because you refuse to let aging steal your independence, then type the number 1 in the comments below. If you are just watching out of curiosity with no intention of making changes, type the number 0. Your response tells me everything I need to know about whether you are ready to take control of your joint health, or if you are content to let these habits continue destroying your mobility night after night. Also, make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell, because the information I share here could literally save your joints and preserve your independence for decades to come. We are not just talking about feeling better tomorrow. We are talking about being able to live the active, fulfilling life you deserve well into your 80s and beyond. The people who ignore this information are the same ones who end up in wheelchairs, dependent on others, unable to do the simple things they once took for granted. Do not let that be you. Show me you are serious about your joint health by engaging with this video right now. Habit number 5. Late-night snacking on inflammatory foods. Let me paint you a picture that might sound all too familiar. It is 9 p.m. You are settling in for the evening, maybe watching your favorite television show or reading a book. You start to feel a little hungry, so you wander into the kitchen. You grab a handful of crackers, maybe some cheese, perhaps a small bowl of ice cream, or those leftover cookies from dinner. It feels innocent enough, right? Just a little something to tide you over until morning. But here is what is really happening inside your body during those crucial nighttime hours. When you eat inflammatory foods late at night, your body goes into overdrive, trying to process them while you sleep. Foods like processed snacks, sugary treats, refined carbohydrates, and high-sodium foods trigger a massive inflammatory response that peaks during your sleeping hours. Think of inflammation as a fire burning inside your joints. During the day, your body can somewhat manage this fire because you are moving around, your circulation is active, and your natural anti-inflammatory systems are working. But at night, when your body should be focusing on repair and recovery, it instead becomes a battleground where inflammation runs wild through your joints. The worst part is that nighttime inflammation is particularly devastating because your body produces most of its healing hormones during deep sleep. When you flood your system with inflammatory foods right before bed, you are essentially poisoning the very time when your joints should be healing. It is like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. Research from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows that people who eat inflammatory foods within 3 hours of bedtime have 40% higher levels of inflammatory markers in their blood the next morning. These inflammatory markers directly attack joint cartilage, causing it to break down faster than your body can repair it. Habit number 4. Sleeping in joint-damaging positions. Now let me ask you something. When you crawl into bed tonight, what position do you naturally fall into? Do you curl up on your side with your knees pulled up to your chest? Do you sleep on your stomach with your head turned to one side? Do you pile up pillows and sleep almost sitting up? Most people have no idea that their favorite sleeping position is slowly destroying their joints. Sleeping in the wrong position is like putting your joints in a torture device for 7 to 8 hours every single night. Your joints are designed to move, to flex, to maintain their natural alignment. When you lock them into unnatural positions for extended periods, you create stress points that lead to inflammation, cartilage damage, and chronic pain. The fetal position, which is the most popular sleeping position among adults, is particularly devastating for joint health. When you curl up like a baby, you are compressing your hip joints, rounding your spine, and creating unnatural pressure on your knees and ankles. Your joints are essentially being squeezed and twisted all night long. Stomach sleeping is even worse because it forces your neck to turn at an extreme angle for hours, putting enormous stress on your cervical spine and shoulder joints. It also flattens the natural curve of your lower back, causing your hip flexors to tighten and your pelvis to tilt in ways that create cascading problems throughout your entire musculoskeletal system. But here is what makes this habit so insidious. The damage happens so gradually that you do not notice it until it is too late. Each night, your joints accumulate a little more stress, a little more inflammation, a little more wear and tear. Over months and years, this nightly assault adds up to significant joint damage that shows up as morning stiffness, chronic pain, and reduced mobility. Habit number 3, dehydration before bed. Here is a habit that might surprise you because it seems so counterintuitive. Many people deliberately avoid drinking water before bed because they do not want to wake up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom. They stop drinking fluids hours before bedtime, thinking they are being smart and practical. But this habit is secretly devastating their joints in ways they never imagined. Your joints are like sponges that need constant hydration to function properly. The cartilage in your joints is about 70% water, and when you become dehydrated, this cartilage begins to dry out and become brittle. Think of a sponge that has been left out in the sun. It becomes hard, cracked, and unable to perform its function of providing cushioning and protection. During the night, your body goes through natural processes that require significant amounts of water. Your kidneys are filtering toxins, your liver is processing the day's intake of food and chemicals, and your joints are trying to repair themselves. When you go to bed dehydrated, you are forcing your body to choose between these vital functions. Guess what gets the lowest priority? Your joints. Your body will always prioritize keeping your vital organs functioning over maintaining your joint health. So when water is scarce, your joints become the last to receive the hydration they desperately need for repair and maintenance. But the damage goes even deeper than that. Dehydrated joints produce less synovial fluid, which is the lubricating substance that allows your joints to move smoothly. Without adequate synovial fluid, your joints begin to grind against each other like car parts without oil. This creates friction, heat, inflammation, and accelerated wear and tear. Habit number 2, excessive screen time. Before bed. I know what you are thinking. How could looking at a screen possibly hurt your joints? But stay with me because this connection is more direct and more devastating than you might imagine. The blue light emitted by phones, tablets, computers, and televisions does not just disrupt your sleep patterns. It actually triggers a cascade of hormonal changes that directly attack your joint health. When you expose yourself to blue light in the hours before bedtime, you suppress your body's natural production of melatonin. Now, most people know that melatonin is important for sleep, but what they do not realize is that melatonin is also one of your body's most powerful anti-inflammatory compounds. It is like a natural joint protector that works overtime while you sleep. When you suppress melatonin production by staring at screens before bed, you are essentially disarming your body's natural defense system against joint inflammation. It is like removing the guards from a castle right before an attack. Your joints become vulnerable to inflammatory damage that would normally be prevented by adequate melatonin levels. But the problem goes even deeper. The blue light exposure also elevates cortisol levels, which is your body's primary stress hormone. Elevated cortisol at night is particularly damaging because it interferes with your body's natural healing processes. High cortisol levels suppress your immune system, reduce protein synthesis, and actually accelerate the breakdown of joint cartilage. Think about it this way. Your body has a natural rhythm where cortisol should be low at night and high in the morning. When you disrupt this rhythm with screen time, you are essentially keeping your body in a state of chronic stress. This chronic stress state is one of the most powerful drivers of joint inflammation and cartilage destruction. Habit number 1. Taking anti-inflammatory medications as sleep aids. This is the most shocking habit of all because it is something that millions of people do, thinking they are helping their joint health. Many people over 50 take ibuprofen, naproxen, or other anti-inflammatory medications before bed, either to help with pain or because they have heard that these medications can help them sleep better. But this habit is actually destroying their joints in ways that are almost too terrible to imagine. Here is what happens when you take these medications regularly at night. While they may provide temporary relief from pain and inflammation, they actually interfere with your body's natural healing processes during sleep. These medications block the production of prostaglandins, which are not just involved in inflammation, but also in tissue repair and cartilage regeneration. When you block prostaglandin production night after night, you are essentially preventing your joints from repairing themselves. It is like putting a bandage on a wound, but never allowing the wound to actually heal. The temporary relief you feel is masking the fact that your joints are getting progressively worse over time, but the damage goes even further. Regular use of these medications at night can cause what is called rebound inflammation. Your body becomes dependent on the medication to control inflammation, and when the medication wears off, the inflammation comes back stronger than before. This creates a vicious cycle where you need more and more medication to get the same relief. The most terrifying part is that these medications can actually accelerate cartilage breakdown. Studies have shown that long-term use of anti-inflammatory medications can interfere with cartilage repair and may even speed up the progression of arthritis. You are literally trading short-term comfort for long-term joint destruction. Now that you understand how these 5 habits are destroying your joints, let me share the solutions that can transform your joint health starting tonight. These are not complicated changes that require major lifestyle overhauls. These are simple, practical adjustments that can make a dramatic difference in how you feel every morning. For late-night snacking, replace inflammatory foods with joint-healing alternatives. Instead of reaching for crackers or cookies, try a small handful of walnuts, which are rich in omega-3 fatty acids that reduce inflammation. Or have a cup of tart cherry juice, which contains natural compounds that support joint health and can even improve sleep quality. To fix your sleeping position, invest in proper pillows and support systems. If you are a side sleeper, place a pillow between your knees to maintain proper hip alignment. Back sleepers should use a pillow under their knees to support the natural curve of the spine. The goal is to keep your joints in their natural, neutral positions throughout the night. For hydration, drink a glass of water about 2 hours before bedtime, then sip small amounts as needed. This gives your body time to process the water without disrupting your sleep. Keep a small glass of water by your bedside for the morning to immediately rehydrate your joints upon waking. To combat the effects of screen time, establish a digital sunset routine. Turn off all screens at least 1 hour before bedtime. Use this time for gentle stretching, reading a physical book, or practicing relaxation techniques that support joint health and natural sleep patterns. Finally, instead of relying on anti-inflammatory medications, create a natural bedtime routine that supports your body's healing processes. This might include gentle yoga stretches, meditation, or natural supplements like turmeric or ginger that support joint health without interfering with your body's repair mechanisms. I want you to imagine yourself 6 months from now. You wake up in the morning, and instead of that familiar stiffness and pain, you feel refreshed and mobile. You get out of bed without groaning, you walk down the stairs without holding the railing, and you start your day feeling strong and capable. This is not just a dream. This is what happens when you stop sabotaging your joints every single night. Your body wants to heal. Your joints want to function properly. You just need to get out of their way and give them the conditions they need to repair themselves. The choice is yours. You can continue these 5 destructive habits and watch your mobility deteriorate year after year, or you can make the simple changes I have outlined and start reclaiming your joint health tonight. The people who take action on this information are the ones who maintain their independence and vitality well into their golden years. Remember, every night you delay making these changes is another night of unnecessary damage to your joints. But every night you implement these solutions is a night of healing and restoration. Your future self is depending on the choices you make right now. If this video has opened your eyes to the connection between your nighttime habits and your joint health, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone you care about. Subscribe to this channel for more life-changing health information that can help you age with strength and vitality. Tell me in the comments which of these 5 habits you are going to change first. Your engagement helps me know that this information is making a real difference in people's lives. Until next time, take care of those joints, and remember that it is never too late to start treating your body with the respect it deserves.